Modules provide a way to organize an app by grouping related components. It helps NestJs manage the app structure. Right now, we have dog controller and dog service, which are closely related, so we should group them in a dogs module. Let's code. Each app has at least one module, which is the app module, where we imported our dogs controller and our dogs service. Let's now create our dogs module. For that, go to the dogs folder and create a new file called dog.module.ts. A module is a class that uses the module decorator. Inside the module decorator, we pass the controllers and the providers. It's here that we will pass our dogs controller, import it, and our dogs service. Our service is a provider because it has an injectable decorator. And now you export the module. You can now go to the app module, and instead of importing the dogs controller and the dogs service, we will use the imports array to import the dogs module. And there we go, as simple as that. Here is an example of an application graph. There is always a root module, and then you build on top of it. You can have a shared module. Let's say you need authentication in every module. You can share that authentication module between several other modules. Let's demonstrate this concept in code. Let's create a auth module, a controller, and a service. You should know how to do this by now. This folder is going to be auth. Then inside we will have a auth.controller.ts. We will have a auth.service.ts and a auth.module.ts. And now let's fill each file, starting with the auth controller, which uses the controller decorator, then the auth service, which uses the injectable since it's a provider. It's actually class, my bad. And the module, which we imported, which has a controllers array and it has a providers array. Let's export it. And now in the controllers, we will add the auth controller, and in the providers, we will add the auth service. And there we go. We can now go to the app.module, and next to the dogs module, we will import the auth module. And that's it. That's how you create these 3 files from scratch and use the module. Now, as a tip, you can open a new terminal and write NestJ resource. And here you will write wherever you want. I'm going to create a user resource. Then it asks you if you want REST API, GraphQL. We are using REST API and no for CRUD endpoints. As you can see, we now have a users folder with a controller, a module, and a service, and they are automatically imported in the modules file. All the work we did for the auth module can be done with this simple command. Let me remove these files because we are not going to need them. And now we have 3 modules, the user, the dogs, and the auth. Inside the auth service, let's create a simple authenticate. This authenticate method will return void because I simply want to console log authenticating. Now, if I want to use this authenticating method, I need to export it so other modules can have access to it. This means I can go to the dog service and use it in a constructor. And let's access it with this.authService.authenticate. I get an error now because I need to import the module. This auth module is exporting the auth service, and that is why we have access to it. Let's now do a get, and as you can see, we get a response and we also get authenticating log. Try now, if you feel capable, to use the auth module in the users module. But if you still don't feel like you can do it, I'm going to do it with you. Let's first open the users module and import the auth module. Now I can go to the user service and use it in the constructor. I'm going to copy from here and paste it, and create an example method where I import the auth service authenticate. Now let's use it in the controller. I'm going to create a get method and import it. And let's say this will get a user. Inside the user, I can say this.userservice.example. And now I'm going to test the route. I'm going to copy this and paste since it's basically the same, but I'm going to change dogs to user because it's what I wrote on the controller. And as you can see, I got authenticating, but if I do the dogs route, I also get authenticating. This means we created our first shared module. One last thing I want to show you is you can use the global decorator and import it. And this means that now in the other modules, I don't actually need to import. So I can remove this from the dogs module, and I can remove this from the users module. And if I do the routes now, they will still work. I get authenticating on both. You should only use the global decorator if a module is used throughout the entire app. Otherwise, always use the imports array.